Deep Water is directed by Adrian Lyne and stars Ben Affleck, Ana de Armas, and Tracy Letts. A wealthy husband who allows his wife to have affairs to avoid divorce becomes a prime suspect in the disappearances of her lovers. For a while now, I've heard that a movie with Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas was being made, but every time I saw the news, I pretty much immediately forgot about it. That was until I saw the trailer for it on Instagram of all places, just at the beginning of the month. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is, I had pretty much no anticipation for this movie. Don't get me wrong, I was hoping that it was going to be good, but my expectation was pretty much 50-50. My thoughts after the fact? You know how one of my biggest praises with The Batman was that it made 3 hours feel like an hour and a half? This is a 2-hour movie that felt like 3 hours. Yeah, I didn't like it that much. No. Don't get me wrong, there are a couple good things in the movie, like, for one, the acting's not half bad. I mean, it's Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas. They are two well-established great actors giving decent performances in this movie. Well, decent on the level that they are great. Even the little kid who plays their daughter in the movie, I actually thought was pretty good. The cinematography is decent. I mean, the movie looks nice, I guess. It's just, there are so many decent things in this movie that are made all the more worse by the fact that it could have been great. They could have been some of the greatest things in this movie. As they stand, they are the best part of an otherwise very disappointing movie. And that brings us to probably the biggest flaw of the movie. It's just really boring. I mean, personally, I was expecting a movie with this cast and a movie that is in the genre of crime, erotic, thriller to be at the very least exciting. This was just a bore, and it was so slow. For the first 2/3, there's really nothing that thriller-ish about it, unless you count Ben Affleck looking at his wife in the movie, just cheating on him time and time again, and each time making him feel more and more depressed. Do you call that thrillerish? Do you call that exciting? I just call it a guy looking at something. And it is just a guy looking at something for straight up an hour and a half. And what makes it all the more boring for the first hour and a half is that while Ana de Armas and Ben Affleck's character are meant to have bad chemistry, you don't care about either of them in the slightest. They pretty much have no personality, barely any backstory, and you have no reason to identify or care about either of them. And while the first hour and a half of this movie is just really boring, the last half hour of the movie is so insanely stupid that it results in one of the most unintentionally hilarious climaxes I've seen all year, right next to Moonfall. It involves weirdly shot and staged murders, hilariously awkward dialogue of a person talking to themselves in their car, a hilarious jump to the shark finish that just ends out of nowhere, and an end credits scene that is pretty much just an extended scene from earlier on in the movie of the little girl singing in the car. If you are not laughing your ass off during the weirdly out of nowhere chase scene that happens at the very end of this movie, there is something wrong. There's not much else I can say. This movie's just pretty bland, boring, and forgettable. Sometimes you'll get a decent moment, like with the actors who, to be fair, are all trying to give good performances, or the cinematography that can at times work in a nice shot. But for those couple moments, it's just not worth it. The characters are bland, the pacing is slow, the tone is inconsistent, and the story is neither erotic nor is it thrilling, therefore it lacks any overall intrigue. It doesn't help the fact that you can easily just compare this movie side by side with another thriller starring Ben Affleck where he's the husband of an untrustworthy wife, Gone Girl, which is easily dozens of times more engaging than this movie ever is. I'm going to give Deep Water a D. Well guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, what's your favorite thriller? Whether it's psychological, whether it's erotic, just what's your favorite thriller? Because for me, I think the obvious choice is Fight Club. I broke the first rule. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. And don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.